Welcome to Kill the Market. I just want to quickly go over how to play off my trend lines that I post. The video that me and Bear Force One put out, we went over a lot of these charts and I show you guys what we were looking for. Some charts we were bullish, some charts we were bearish, right? So taking that going into the next day, you want the market to develop and decide if it's going to be bearish or bullish that day, right? So then the stocks that we indicated were bullish. If the market wants to turn that way, that's what we're looking for. And the ones that we call out that are bearish setups, we want to look at those if the market starts selling off, because those should have more strength to the way that the chart was set up. So this is SPY. Just quickly want to go over this. This was last week's candle here. It failed the breakout, came back down, so we were bearish on SPY. And now we'll so real quick, we'll take a look at the daily here. It gapped up really right at our trend line. Tried to push higher. All this wick did was fill the gap completely from the Friday before, Thursday into Friday, and then just immediately sold back down. So that's what it would have looked like on the daily as that's forming. You could immediately see, that's flipping into a bearish day. And then here we'll go to the 5-minute chart. You can see it gapped up. Bulls tried to push this up. They failed up here at 748.73 before the selling came back down. Now on this wick, as it comes through this trend line, you can't really get a setup there. You'd be chasing. I don't like to chase. Let's let it set up and decide what it wants to do before we make our move. So all this sell-off here is doing, we filled the gap, right? Gapped up, came down, filled the gap. This is obviously bearish structure, right? Comes down, forms a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then it kind of gets interesting. Bulls try to step in here to push this back up. We do put in some higher highs and some higher lows, but you can see as soon as that touches my trend line, that's when we're looking for that entry to continue to the downside. What I like to do is, this is our first signal. We got the touch, right? We got the doji, and now let's break below that and see what happens. So this wick candle forms, we break below, and this is how to keep it simple. Our stop is anything above that previous candle. So we enter here, we do get wicked up, we do have a green candle, but nothing anywhere near our stop. It's consolidating right there below our trend line, still bearish, and then we get that flush to the downside. So that was a nice setup there. We took that, we made quite a bit of profits there. Price comes back down, we put in a lower low and then a higher low. So what I like to do is when the structure changes into the direction of strength, which is a bearish setup, we know that we broke our trend line, couldn't hold, so we're looking bearish. Now we need to find entries. So I would look for levels here. Just take a horizontal line, and this is what I did intraday, and I find some levels. You can see I'm going to draw this here. So this already formed, we sold down. We don't know what's going to happen here yet, but we look at all these touches. The more touches you have to the left, the stronger it is. We had all of this here. We have touches all throughout here, even the previous days, right? This is Friday now. All this was resistance turned support. Support turned resistance. Same into today. So we're kind of looking for these levels. And you can see as this price comes back up to put in a lower high, it tests that level. We get the close above. I'm still bearish, so I'm looking for anything below that level. This candle hit, we went short, and we made quite a bit of money. Again, you could do the same thing down here, right? We get here, we're low, we're pushing back up. Where does it look like it could turn into this direction of strength? I kind of saw all these wicks, so I throw a line right there. Again, this comes down, that off that wick, we start get pushed up. You can start seeing it chop here. Okay, it's kind of really hard to get a clear setup there, but you can see rejected there into the direction of strength. Had a couple charts that look like this today. Apple sold off, not surprised there. They're taking profits. You can see AMD. We'll take this to let's take our weekly time or weekly channel here. Delete this from the video. Again, this broke channel, so we were bearish set up here. We gapped up, and then, this is the week. Obviously, that's one day. So this is our day. You can see gapped up quite a bit, wicked up. We had this level. This was on my chart for you guys, 522.84. It ended up reaching 522.44, but that's an area we're looking for, right, before it sells back down. So let's go on the 5-minute, and you can see here, gapped up. It's almost identical to SPY. We came back up, came back down, broke here. We had a little resistance here. Like, I would even play this, right? You can play this short from 513.40. Even if you're just looking for $1, you don't have to hit home runs every time. Price consolidates. We get the inside candle. We go outside, obviously bullish. We do get that close under, but you can see that next candle shoots right up. And then we put in here a lower high. So bearish structure setting up, right? We had our high, lower low, lower high, right into the sell-off. So this candle forms here, wicks off our trend line, and this is breaking down from the channel. You got to remember that. So when this candle forms and it can't break the high and it's coming back down, you could look for a short opportunity there. Consolidation. I mean, they're trying, right? The bulls are trying. So they push this back up. They're getting into this channel. Inside candle, consolidation, right back into selling. Hard to catch this one with that candle just slicing right through. However, consolidation, they're going to try one more time. But again, if you can see here, we have this high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Price never breaks above that, never breaks that previous high. It does consolidate here. This is what I would look for. The inside candles are always a good indicator to look for. We close under. Again, we wick up. That's our confirmation. Bang, we could sell this down. Here's Amazon. Nothing really per our chart. Let's just see what it looked like on the weekly. We wanted it to hold that level there, 249.51. It held that today. So if bulls can come in here, we can really push this up tomorrow. If it fails that level, it's going to get ugly. Google, on its way into earnings. You can see here on the week, we had that sell-off. We said it was bullish because we were holding this level. We did gap up here and then ended up selling off. We're trying to fill the gap. Bulls held it a little bit. They really need to step in tomorrow to save this. Obviously, this 350 level is going to be a big psychological level. See if they can hold that, or else we could sell off quite a bit there. Now, Meta, this one's interesting because we were bullish on this. We had the close above, even though it sold off. Bulls held the trend. Come in on the daily. You can see it kind of just opened sideways. Pushed up a little bit into the gap before they sold it off. And again, they bought it back up. Bulls stepped in when they needed to close this up here. I stay bullish on the setup until we break below this. Was there a setup to play? Now remember, we were bullish on this stock. So we had the gap down. Nice, this is actually a nice short entry here. Came all the way back down. That tested our week. For bulls came in, shot this back up. Kind of a choppy setup here. Again, if you tried to go long here, this closed below, I would have been out, would have missed the move, not a big deal. And then you can just see it's just support. This is from a weekly time frame. They try to break it down. Bulls held it. I like the way this looks moving forward. Bulls are holding it. Again, depends on the overall market. Microsoft really tried to push today. We were bearish, still bearish. We had an inside day here. If we go down to the daily, oh no, it's actually it's an up day here. Push right into that weekly level. Not able to break our 404.24. So we'll see what happens here. I could see maybe a test here, come back down. A lot of buying here, not much movement in price. We'll see if they're able to hold that. It's not a chart I would really get excited about. Netflix, is it doing what we want it to do? So far, so good. Keep selling. So you can see here, we're bearish on this garbage. On the daily, just nothing really happening today. Skip that one. NVIDIA, we're bullish. We had that rejection off the trend line, holding the breakout, had a sell-off day here, still holding at levels. I really would have liked it over that 203.83. The fact it closed below kind of worries me. We could continue to get a sell-off here if it can't break above that. QQQ, you can see on the week, we were bearish because we broke below this bull bear line of 701-ish. And so you can tell we had a play here. So we were bearish. We're looking for a short opportunity. Price opened kind of sideways, shot up. And then let's take a look here on the 5-minute. So we had the gap up, sold down, had a little support here, broke down, failed to break down, came back up, and then just died. Okay, so even if you took this and you were stopped out, because this is kind of clean direction here, it's not real chop to, in my opinion. You know, you have your move up, down, up, we're putting in a lower high, and then back down. You could have looked for a short here. Again, these are all I'm looking for, are small moves. Small moves, take your profits, get out. Bulls step in, not able to fill the gap. You can see a little resistance here before they do break that above, before they get that push up. But again, still not able to get anywhere near that high of the day before it starts selling off again. And then this is a nice little opportunity here. So that's QQQ. SpaceX is just not it. SPY on the week. This is a majority I trade is SPY, and this was just a great setup. We knew we were bearish. We broke our failed breakout here, broke below our trend line. Today opened up, it gapped up quite a bit, and all that was doing was filling this gap from this previous, from Thursday into Friday. Weren't able to fill the gap on Friday, they filled it today, right before killing it. So you can see gap up, push up here, gap is filled, price comes back down off the inside candle, we go outside, right back down, really hard to catch that, you know, and this is where let the structure develop. Let the plays set up before you enter. It makes your conviction 100 times more, you know, stronger. We get the push up, we get the push down. So we had our high, and now we have our low. Pushes up here, now we have a lower high, lower low. So now we're getting some structure here. However, after we fill the gap, bulls do come in to retest our trend line. Let them go. When the bulls are running, let them run. You don't want to get in their way. Could get ugly. However, it pushes right into our trend line here. This is a beautiful setup. We get the doji right off our trend line. So I'm looking for a break to the downside here. This candle opened up, came down. That would have been my entry. Now my stop loss is up here. It's the top of the doji. So anything goes above there, I'm stopped. Whatever happens, happens. But it doesn't. Consolidates here below the trend line, very bearish. And then you can see, now we get more bearish structure. We get the sell-off, lower low, lower high, lower low. This one here, so I sold on this candle here. Then I'm looking for another setup, right? So without knowing what happens here, I look for a horizontal price. Right? Look for that support resistance line. I found this here. You can see it was resistance here, and then look back to the left. This always is how you determine how strong a level is. You can see all these touches. You just want touches. That just means it's stronger. Somebody likes that line. They want to hold the line. If they do or not, that's not for us to worry about. The fact is that that line has action. So you can see when this pushes back up here, we get that candle. It does close above, but now, you know, if this candle can't push above the high of that candle and it pushes down, that's where I look to short. Because why? I'm bearish on the day. We have a bearish structure. Let's let this set up. They want to trap as many bulls as they can, and they did, and then they sell it right back down. So really nice movement here by SPY. There was even another little end of day play you could have made. Let's see, Tesla. What did we have Tesla on? So Tesla, we were hoping to hold that trend line. We said if we held it, we could push back up. Little bullish move if we could have, did not happen, broke below. Let's see what it looks like here on the daily. You can see it actually gapped up quite a bit and then just died. So here we go. This is our candle here, gapped up way up here. They couldn't even push this any higher before they stepped in and just killed it. This was my price line, gave it to you guys in the video, 382.29. Close below. That's our first indicator. Now we want confirmation. Wick up, sell off. That's your entry, right? If you bought this, any close above that wick, you get out. This wicked up really quick. It wanted to stop everybody out before they really hammered it hard. You can see our trend line here. Again, this is another buying opportunity. We get that candle close above. Next candle comes, bang, right back down through the weekly level. And then, you know, if you're looking for price levels, if you missed all this and you see this bearish structure get set in, so this is your low basically to me. This is your high. This is your low. This little stuff's whatever. This is a lower high. Comes back down, lower low, pushes back up. Now look, see, just find a level to the left. Find a level with conviction. Look at all these touches here that this had, 374. So now when this comes back down, you're wanting that push up to that level to put in another lower high. It does. We get that candle there, confirmation here, and boom, down to the downside. So this is an idea of what I look for, how I play my plays, and how I want to help you find easier setups. You don't need to overdo this. Make it easy on yourself. Trading is hard enough. Find your trend lines, learn how to play them, be patient, wait for them to set up, and then you can attack. So tomorrow, you know, even though we've had this sell-off, there's still a couple bearish stocks that I would watch. Meta's holding. Microsoft is looking to break out. Google's doesn't look great, but it's holding, right? So what I would like here, just give you an example of something that I would look for. This is your low of day. You have this gap. So there's two ways to play this. Let me go on the daily. Yep, pretty ugly candle. Two ways. Price can come and reject the low of day, right? So if we could come down here, you want it to break a little bit and then shoot up. That's how we want to stop everybody out and then shoot the price back up. That's one direction. Another way, let's fill the gap and go up. Okay, two easy ways to set this up. If neither happen, you don't trade. That's the hardest thing to do, right? Sit on your hands. Meta, bullish here as long as we can hang above this trend line. Nice consolidation here. This doesn't bother me at all that these are two red candles. And as a matter of fact, shows me there's a lot of selling, but they still weren't able to push the price down. Microsoft is looking to push. If it can break that 404.24, it could really get going. Netflix is garbage. I'm going to probably take that off. Nvidia broke below this. This is kind of wait and see for me right now. I need to get above this level for me to want to turn bullish. A push down here, you know, we could look for a bounce. Nothing worth, you know, forcing. QQQ, very bearish here with this close. See if we can push more downside here, maybe fill this gap. We do have our support here, this upper trend line support from the breakout. We'll see if that can hold. Let me just see something. I mean, if you ever just see something that looks good, throw a trend line on it. See if it makes sense. You can see we're kind of in this channel here. It had a false breakout there. So we'll see if this can continue to push higher or if it breaks down. SpaceX, we're still waiting for 100. And SPY, bearish, couldn't hold the breakout yet again. Filled the gap before selling off. A lot of weekly pivots here to hit on the downside if it wants to continue selling off. And then Tesla is just, that did break down from our trend line. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, you can see our trend got a lot of touches over the past weeks. Tried to hold, didn't happen, broke down. Now we're looking to hold 368.17, or else we're 356 and then 339. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for there. All right, hope that helped. I'm going to try and put out more videos to show you how I do what I do and why I do what I do so we can do it together. Please look for those in the future, and thanks for listening.